Welcome to the Muck Grind Show, April 23rd, Monday. Jeremy Northrup, how was your weekend?
Pretty tough one. It's a really tough one.
I'm Caleb Morgan. We've got Flyers knocked out the Pens yesterday. Kings knocked out the Canucks, which we will talk about later.
Yes,
the Blues have moved on. Preds have moved on. We got so much to talk about here. How about this weekend? The Caps and Bruins going to 7 games, which will be Wednesday night or Tuesday night. That's Wednesday night, actually. Yeah, Wednesday night. They went the rare back-to-back nuts series. Caps Saturday. Bruins win it in overtime. Tyler Seguin made Braden Holtby finally look human on that overtime winner. What do you think we got coming up here for Game 7?
Oh, this has been a great series. Every single game has been decided by one goal. And we didn't, I mean, you said earlier on if there was going to be a 7 that would knock off a 2, it would be the Capitals knocking off the Bruins.
Yeah.
I don't know what we've got going on here. This is a great this is a great series. Tim Thomas has been great. Holtby has been great. Tim Thomas is 9-2 in elimination games, which is going to be huge. Is Holtby going to be able to beat Tim Thomas in a deciding game? And are the Capitals going to choke on the 3-2 lead?
You bringing up the Capitals choking.
Yep.
Well, this is a little bit of a different Capitals team than we've seen. This is a defensive, conservative Capitals team. Dale Hunter, I read a quote today, I think it was Knuble, said, it took 60 games for Hunter's system to finally get worked out, but it's working right now. We're seeing it. The Boston Bruins were 3rd in the NHL in the regular season in goals.
Yeah.
3rd, and right now they are in a struggle with the Caps 7 seed. They cannot score very much. The defense is locking down. I said last week, could you believe it? Mike Green was a +5. I think he's still a +5, as is what's his name? Hammerlick is also a +5. You do not see this from the Washington Capitals. And then when you get, like we saw yesterday, Alex Ovechkin, how about the tying goal, 5 minutes left, off the face-off.
Yeah, great goal.
I love the reaction, too. It went in, he waited a second, saw it went in, and then
he went wild.
Freaked out, lost his mind. So you get that big scoring there.
Yeah.
I don't know which way this is going to go on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you completely. I don't really have anything to add to that. This is a series. It's been probably the best series in the whole entire playoffs so far.
Yeah. Flyers Pens was nuts, but this one's actually
a good playoff series. You know, 2 goaltenders that could steal a game, and who's going to win?
Yeah, you said it before. Every game's been a 1-goal game. First time in NHL history, 6 straight games in a series have 1 goal. That's pretty shocking. There's always those stats. Oh, first time this has happened, but it's always with little qualifier. First time 6 straight 1-goal games tells you what kind of series this has been. Like I said, the Caps D, impressive as hell, clogging the lanes, blocking shots like crazy. They used to not block a lot of shots. They were run and gun. Now they do. But we've got the Bruins. How nuts is it going to be if we got Vancouver was already eliminated, Boston, if the Cup champs, the Penguins, the Red Wings are out. If we see the 2 teams from the finals last year not return to the finals this year, is not that surprising because it doesn't happen that often. But first round is another story.
I agree with you. It seems like the team that gets traffic in front of the net is going to win this series. Both these goaltenders are great, and I think that's going to be the difference in this. I can't even pick who's going to win.
Caps love playing the underdog. I want to go with the Caps, but I picked coming in Boston in 7 because I thought it was going to be a long series.
Yeah.
So I was right on that at least. But I think I got to stick with Boston because they're at home. It's going to be so tough for them to lose at home Game 7 as defending champs.
I can agree with that. I mean, still, I think you'd have the Bruins as the favorite here, but I mean, the Capitals can definitely steal
anything can happen, as we've seen.
I agree.
It'd probably be another 1-goal game.
Yeah.
But anyway, another thrilling series, 5 straight overtimes.
Another record, right?
Oh my God. Well, the last time was 1951 in the Cup Finals, Toronto-Montreal.
Yeah.
So essentially another record.
Yeah, exactly.
Modern era. I mean, Phoenix, Chicago, constantly going overtime, constantly late goals. Actually, the last game was finally not a late goal. It was 2-2 for a while, I think, or 1-1 for a while. Jonathan Taves, heroics.
Great goal.
Yeah, again, brings it out right into the front, just blasted by Mike Smith, who's been unbelievable. Going back to Chicago, Game 6, Madhouse on Madison. Do you think the ball is in Chicago's court now?
You would think. I mean, with the overtime heroics, Jonathan Taves actually scoring a captain's goal, taking the puck and bringing it, shooting it high blocker side on Mike Smith. You think this is the time for the Blackhawks to even it up? But I mean, Mike Smith can be Mike Smith. We've seen Mike Smith be Mike Smith, and I mean, the Coyotes can win this still. It's still the Coyotes series.
Yeah, tonight is going to be huge. It's going to be crazy that we haven't seen in that building in Chicago since 2010 when they won the Cup. They got Shaw coming back tonight, who can be dangerous in a physical way and end up in the box and cost Chicago, much like a Zach Ronaldo for Philly. But he could also, he's scored some goals in the season in the playoff where, or done things offensively where you say, oh, this guy's not just a physical player. You've got, like you said, the captain, Jonathan Toews, scoring the captain's goal to win it. Shane Doan was unbelievable in that game, though he got a lot of flack for not shooting the puck late. He had 2 glorious chances where
he'd wrap around.
I think the wraparound, that would have been goal if he shot. The other one, I could see why he waited.
He had to pull it. Yeah.
I could see why he waited, but still, tough in that situation to not shoot with everything on the line. But he's a playmaker. Every year, Shane Doan's the kind of guy that you look at his stats, 34 goals, 34 assists, right down the middle.
Exactly.
So he will pass as many times as he will shoot. But that's the kind of player he is. I said coming in, I love that they got Doan and Whitney, and they're going to carry them. But how about offensively? How about the power play in this series? Horrible for both teams. You knew coming in, Coyotes' power play was 29th overall. But they've been 2 for 15 in the playoffs. Hawks have been 1 for 17 on the power play. That's horrific. So if one team could get a game, maybe that they go 2 for 4 on the power play or something, that'll tilt the entire series. That could win it one way or another. But to this point, we haven't seen it at all.
Yeah, and to that point, the Coyotes only had 14 even strength shots on goal last game. So you can't score goals on the power play, even strength at all, when you only have 19 shots in a game. 14 even strength. They gotta put more shots in the net.
How about Radim Vrbata? 1 point in the playoffs. Mr. 35-goal season.
Nothing.
You know what I read, and I didn't quite realize this was a reason here? Martin Hanzal injury. He had so much chemistry with Hanzal. Now he's playing with Vermette. Vermette's been great in the playoff. But he doesn't have
Hanzal.
No chemistry. He's Vrbata's saying, I have no chemistry with this guy. He's a great player, but we're not working on instinct. I've got to watch and wait to see what he does rather than knowing what he does.
Yeah.
And that's big. So if he can't get chemistry or they're not going to have Hanzal playing there, that's really playing in the Blackhawks' favor here.
Yeah, I mean, he was their greatest goal. He was the best goal scorer of the year. 35 goals, like you said. He's got to get going here. He's got to get going.
Yeah, 1 point's not enough. No excuses.
Yeah, no excuses.
All right, the Ottawa Senators, my God. We're pushing this to another game tonight. Can clinch again at home in Ottawa. Jason Spezza, both goals, including an empty netter the other day. Craig Anderson, massive effort, 41 saves.
So many big saves, too.
Besting Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah.
Is this going to go the Senators' way tonight?
I think the Senators are going to win tonight. They get possibly Daniel Alfredsson back today.
Oh, yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back. Anderson has been as good as Lundqvist. Looked up the stats today. The stat line of 1.79 goals against for Anderson, 1.78 goals against for Lundqvist, 9.43 save percentage for Anderson, and 9.48 save percentage for Lundqvist. Toe-to-toe with this guy.
Unreal.
You know, physicality, like we said in the last episode, I think they're ready to win this. This is going to be this is going to be a bigger upset than the Kings beating the Canucks.
If you would have seen any other goaltender up against Lundqvist, you might see the Rangers on top ready to clinch, or it would have clinched already. Craig Anderson, like I said last time, Craig Anderson, Braden Holtby are the friggin' stories of this playoff so far.
I agree. 2
goalies who you thought had no chance coming in are standing on their heads and going toe-to-toe with Tim Thomas and Henrik Lundqvist. I thought coming in, the Rangers, because of Henrik Lundqvist, we're not going to go to the finals, but we're going to get deep because of him. I thought finally they were primed with that defense and with him playing the way he did this year to go on a goalie-backed run, and it hasn't happened because of Craig friggin' Anderson. John Tortorella, though, was down 3-2 in the Stanley Cup Finals when he was coach with Tampa in 2004. Don't give up on John Tortorella coach teams. He is an MFer, and he will let into that team at any time.
For sure.
During the game, before the game, whenever need be. They were down in that series, had to go to Calgary, won in double overtime to send it back to Tampa to win in 7. So do not count the Rangers out, but I agree. If the Senators get a little momentum early, that it's going to go their way.
Especially if Spezza, with 2 goals in the last game, can keep it going. Daniel Alfredsson coming back, like we said. But the Rangers getting Carl Hagelin back tonight.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was great with Richards, so maybe they'll get some chemistry going on there.
Yeah, Richards actually had, I think, 7 shots in the last game, but just could not get anything to go. They could not get anything. I got an interesting thing here as well. How about Chris Kreider? Chris Kreider, they brought him in from college. They wanted to get him at the end of the regular season, but his team went so far in the Frozen Four that they couldn't sign him. He did not play a regular season game. His first ever NHL game was in this series. He's been playing ever since. Last game he only played 9 shifts, 7 minutes 34 seconds as a forward. If they're having trouble offensively, can you really afford to have a guy like this that you're just trying to get experience and get going? Only playing 7:34. Usually that ice time is reserved for a tough guy who just is out there in the first period and nothing else because you don't want to risk it. If this guy's got the skill you thought and you're going to run him on the power play, you can't be playing him that little.
Yeah.
You just can't. You maybe get him out of the lineup if you're John Tortorella and say, hey, winning's more important than getting you experience.
I would agree with that completely. If you have somebody who, you don't want to waste those minutes.
No,
or the spot on the bench, you don't want to waste it.
Yeah, you're right. If somebody goes down to injury, you got to have somebody a little more reliable in there. All right, yesterday we said Vancouver, gone. Knocked out. The President's Trophy winner. 6-time President's Trophy winner has gone a first round, but this is the first time they've been gone in 5 games. Give credit to the LA Kings, Jonathan Quick.
Yeah.
What could you really say as a post-mortem of the Vancouver Canucks?
They couldn't score on Jonathan Quick. That's what it was. That's exact. And what a letdown they've been. I couldn't believe yesterday they lose the game and their fans cheered for them. They won the President's Trophy 2 times in a row. They lost to an 8 seed, and people are cheering for them. I'd be out. I'd be out of there. That would be so frustrating with your team.
Yeah.
How do you lose? How do you lose like that? 5 games. You lost one Sedin for some of the games. He was back for a few of them. Jonathan Quick just shut this team down completely. Corey Schneider on the other side was fantastic.
Yep.
Also, the question is going to be, is Luongo or Schneider in the beginning of next year? People are saying Schneider. I would tend to agree with that.
Oh, exactly. And maybe that's why they were cheering, because if Luongo was in there, I think they would have been booing. They booed him before.
They boo him if he wins.
I read after the game, actually, that Corey Schneider ran a red light on his way out of the arena. I read that in a report today. It's pretty funny. The fan was like, well, it's Schneider. He can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
But it's pretty funny. Yeah, give so much credit to the Kings. I didn't think this was impossible, but in 5 games, my God, you can't tell me that was going to happen, and I would believe you. What a play in overtime, though. Trevor Lewis makes that play to knock off Dan Hamhuis' stick. Luckily for the Kings, stays right inside the blue line, and who was it? Stoll picks it up for a 2-on-1.
Sniped it. Yeah.
Absolutely,
just such a great shot.
My God, it's crazy how many overtime games have we had in all the series this year. Only one, I think, went to double overtime. We've been seeing them end quick.
Usually within the first 10 minutes, for the most part.
All the time. And I'm just blown away with all the defense we've seen in the playoffs this far, all the great goaltending. Yeah. These are just ended early.
Quick little goals.
It's nice to see, but man, do I love those 3 and 4 overtime games where it takes hours and you're on the edge of your seat for the entire time.
Yeah.
But congrats to the Kings for moving on there. Just a shocking upset.
Jonathan Quick could steal a few series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be King St. Louis, and then potentially, and then Nashville's going to play whoever.
I saw something earlier. Next goal wins in that series.
One goal against the entire time. That would be a record. All right, on to Florida, Jersey. We haven't talked about them too much. This one, after being blanked 4-0 by Jersey, Florida gets a 3-0 shutout the other way. Shutouts flip the other way. What do you got here on Florida, Jersey? I know you've seen a lot more of it than I have.
Who wants to win this series? That's what I think the whole entire time. You got Martin Brodeur comes out, steals a game, then he gets beat with that wacky, goes on an adventure behind the net, gets scored on. You could see in that last game, the Panthers just outworked the Devils. They just wanted it more than the Devils, it seemed like. I hate the cliche, but I'm going to say it right there. Specifically on the second goal. Yeah. Through the neutral zone, get it deep. Brodeur goes on an adventure, like I said, ends up in the back of his net. It just seems like the first team that takes advantage of it and says, I want this series, is going to have it. Tonight it could be the Panthers. Yeah, this is going to be, like I said last time, I would love if this went to 7 because it's going to get prime billing that it hasn't had so far. They were, Florida Panthers are 1 game from advancing and nobody picked them. But they were. It's not that they're not a good team and they didn't have a good season. It's just that they won the Southeast Division, had a minus 25 goal differential in the season. So why would you pick them? I mean, the Devils had such a solid year. If it wasn't for everybody in the Atlantic being amazing, they would not have been the 6th seed. You still got Brodeur. Their defense is great with, and then you've got guys like Henry coming out. Clarkson scored so many goals this season. Kovalchuk, Parise. I read who have been noticeable in the series too, Kovalchuk and Parise.
I read rumors today that Kovalchuk may be playing with a, quote, serious injury. And then I go and look. Kovalchuk played 25 minutes last game, and then in game 4 played 21 minutes and had a power play goal at the end of the game. So 25 minutes doesn't seem like he has a serious injury unless it's just cropped up walking to the dressing room at the end of the last game.
And he usually ends up playing the whole entire power play. He plays the whole entire thing and then stays out even afterwards.
Russian machine never breaks.
Exactly. Yeah. At this point, like the Devils should win this series. I mean, on paper they had the best draw in the conference.
Yeah.
You know, they should have beat the Panthers. Their penalty kill was great. Goaltending was great. And penalty kill's been terrible. Goaltending's been hit or miss.
Yeah.
Panthers could wrap it up tonight.
I would really like to see, or is that Tuesday? Tuesday's game.
Tomorrow.
Tuesday's game, right? Right?
Yeah.
Tuesday. I don't know what day it is. I just woke up. But anyway, all right, let's go here. Raffi Torres, 25 games. Yeah. My God, did they throw the book at Raffi Torres like we have not seen. 25-game suspension for the massive hit on Torres. Torres off on a stretcher. Hossa off on a stretcher. Who knows what's up with Hossa? Yeah. They're not even talking about it. 25 games just ensures that if the Coyotes go to 4 7-game series, he can't play in the playoffs. Is this appropriate, or is this just a makeup for all the other suspensions that they either didn't give out or gave 1 or 2 games to?
Yeah, I felt a little bit of both, I guess, on it, because Shanahan is obviously sending a message like, if we get out of this first round, there was all these headshots and stuff like that, at least he can point back and see, look what I did to Raffi Torres. I gave him 25 games. Mm-hmm. This is this year's Matt Cook suspension. Yeah. And I don't think Raffi Torres is as smart as Matt Cook. No. He'll probably come out next year doing something goofy. Matt Cook changed his game a bit here. This is a crazy, crazy long suspension, especially with every game in the playoffs being equal to 2 games in the regular season. This is a 50-game suspension.
Right,
possibly.
Absolutely. I mean, Matt Cook, though, had the benefit of Mario Lemieux sitting him down and saying, you've gotten suspended before, and if you don't change your game right now, you're not playing for this team again. This is not how we play hockey here. Phoenix, they don't even have an owner right now. Their owner is the league who just suspended them. So who knows who's going to sit this guy down. He does have a long track record, but I was absolutely shocked. I was absolutely shocked at the suspension. Here's what I have to say. Look at the replay. Look at the bench. Look at the Blackhawks bench where the hit happened right in front of them. No reaction whatsoever. That just tells me how ingrained in hockey this hit is now. Yeah. You may say this is illegal, this should be illegal, and has been illegal. It still happens because look at that bench.
People don't even notice it.
They absolutely don't. The play kept going on. Blackhawks had the puck, took it down, set up in the zone, and were about to take a slap shot before it was finally blown dead. He was laying on the ice for a long time. Yeah. That just shows you how, on one hand, maybe they got to throw the book at him to get this out of the game once and for all. But at the same time, if the player who just got hit right in front of the bench don't even react and only have comments after the game from Jonathan Taves in disgust, and a lot of players are expressing bewilderment around the league in interviews and on Twitter, I got to say, it's going to take more than this, but Torres is going to be the scapegoat because of his history.
For sure. I mean, five times, 5 other suspensions, 2 this year, I think. This is the guy to throw the book at.
Yeah, and things have calmed down since that. Things have really calmed down. We saw it in the Flyers-Penn series.
Although you did see the hit on Boyle.
Yeah, Boyle with a concussion. Yeah, absolutely. That'll be interesting of what his diagnosis is there. We got to go. We're going to be back Thursday. We'll talk about any potential Game 7s that night, last night of the first round, and look forward to the weekend where round 2 begins. For Jeremy Northrup, Caleb Morgan, Muck and Grind Show, muckandgrind.tv.
Tune in next time for another episode of the Muck and Grind Show. Or check out past episodes anytime at www.muckandgrind.tv.